I sense a trap.
Hey everyone, my name is Saksham Pruthi, and you're listening to Just Like Me, a podcast where six straight brown dudes attempt to unpack trending topics and issues in the world around us. Are we qualified to talk about these subjects? Probably not. Debatable, whatever. You guys know the spiel. But will we do so in a funny and engaging enough way that it won't matter? Here's hoping. Now let's hear from all the other amazing hosts we have on this podcast.
What's up, guys? My name's Srinath.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex.
Hi guys, I'm Avnish, or rather Ayush's brother in this case.
Oh, good.
Hey everyone, I'm Ayush. Oh, that's a good story actually. Here you go.
He's just Ayush, don't worry.
Hey guys, my name is Saksham.
And now it's time for there to be questions to be asked in today's episode of our podcast. So our podcast today is actually about talking about our siblings, crazy sibling stories, whatever you want to call it, / whatever I end up titling the episode when posted on YouTube. But the reason I wanted to make this episode is between the six of us, we actually have a bunch of very unique and diverse perspectives on what it means to be a sibling. Yeah. Gupta and I are both older siblings. I mean, we have like younger siblings, like the older son. Thomas is a middle child. Srinath is a younger child, and Avnish, not only are they the younger child, but they're also twins. So we all bring, for once, a unique and perspective on a topic. And I feel that during quarantine, during the past couple of years while I'm in college, I've gotten really close to my brother, my younger brother, in a way that I didn't really, might not have gotten in a way before. And so that's what inspired this episode, to kind of, share some funny, crazy sibling stories, but also reflect on the changes that have made and ways that we have gotten closer, or honestly, I mean, no shame about it, maybe even more distant from our siblings during quarantine, if that's the case. So I'll go ahead and get started, and then anyone wants to kind of jump in and we can go in. But I'll just talk about in the last year, either in quarantine or if not so in quarantine, in college, like, how has your relationship with your siblings changed? We'll just start off our question with that. And for me, I definitely think that I've gotten closer to my brother. For those of you who don't know, my brother is 6 years younger than me, currently in high school right now. And when I was in high school, my brother was in elementary school. Like, I mean, obviously the 6 year age difference has always been there. It's not like it's been more pronounced or less pronounced at any point. I mean, I felt like in high school, the age difference between me and my brother was much more significant, much more, I don't know, we were just completely into different things, He was still falling in love with Pokemon. I was still playing Pokemon, but I was like moving on to other things, puberty was happening, girls somehow.
From Pokemon to puberty.
Are you sure puberty was happening?
I'm still waiting.
It's still happening, honestly, probably. I was, my priorities were different. I was in that mission bubble, which I'm like, if I don't get A in Mr. Kane's class, I'm gonna, drop out of high
every
school.
Every teacher used Mr. Kane as an example.
I don't know.
He was literally the easiest teacher.
Yeah, I loved being in his class because I was only incentivized to try because he was just an awesome person.
Me and Gupta took a psychology class, and I don't think
I took a psych class too. I didn't learn any psychology. You know what I did learn? I learned how to fly. I learned how to I learned how to fold a paper airplane that flew for half the world record amount of time a paper airplane was in the air, and I was the only one who passed the assignment.
Damn.
Srinath and I learned to believe in ourselves in that class.
Yeah.
So basically the same.
Kane substituted for Peterson one time, and I think I was just talking to, like, I don't know who, I was talking to Alex or Shivani or whatever, and then Kane was like, "What is this?" He was just giving some lecture on like some like, you guys need to like be more disciplined or some shit, and then he was like, "Do I look like a joke to you?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Yeah, that guy's too dead ass. I can't read him sometimes.
You probably knew your brother was kissing up to him 24/7, so just took his anger out on you.
That's 100%.
Probably.
But yeah, during the past 4 years, like during college and now in quarantine, I feel like we've, even though like I said, he's still 6 years apart, he's in high school now. I definitely feel like I relate to him more. Like, talking to him about like, for example, sports has been a very major part of my life the entire time, and recently, like, him and his friends, starting their own fantasy football league and during quarantine, and like having like just conversations with him about like fantasy football woes and highs, that we've had. Every Sunday we'd like we'd wake each other up like, oh my god, did you see what Mike Gesicki did? He had 0 points. I'm like, oh shit.
Probably better if he wasn't your brother then. You give shit advice.
Hey, he won the league. He won his league. Thanks
Did
to
you?
my. I don't want to talk
That
Voice is the
was a
first
low blow.
loser.
anymore.
Can dish it out, but can't take it.
Yeah.
When I mean take
Right.
it, when I mean it, I mean dubs.
That's like in Warzone. But like even Warzone, like we play Fortnite together now. We'll play. I mean, like he'll like coach me during Warzone, even though I think I've played enough that I'm hopefully better than him by now. But like,
Bro, you
Probably
need
not.
Really confused. Are you trying to
You need more
insinuate?
coaching.
Wait, I feel like I might have missed a step here. Was there a time where you feel like you and your brother just like weren't homies?
No, we were homies, but the things we talked about were completely different. Like he was like doing his addition homework while I was just, trying to figure out, Miss Rusu's class, and it was just like completely different. And when they,
Yes,
I don't
what
know,
the fuck? Your age difference is like only 3 or 4 years. What the hell are
He
you
literally
No,
said
6
6
years.
years, like 10
And
times.
it's-
Manish, where have you
wow,
been?
wow.
What's your age?
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm low energy right
Bro,
now.
he's not even in college yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
and
right.
I definitely
didn't
think
that through.
that when my brother goes to college and gets even more into degenerate hobbies like I have, like we'll have even more stories to tell and things to talk about. Like at first, like I think the last thing I'm going to say before I transition off to Gupta or whoever wants to go next, is that like our conversations that my brother and I used to have, like maybe like back when I was in high school, like conversation we had like in front of our parents, in front of our family in a group setting was the same as the conversations that we have like behind closed doors. But now after quarantine happened, we have held the conversations. We both emotionally and biologically matured. We have these like one-on-one brotherly conversations about things that we definitely wouldn't talk about like right in front of our parents like during dinner. And
Does
so
this have to do anything with puberty? Because you said biological maturity.
I don't know what
I
the
said
fuck
what I
you're
said.
talking about, bro.
I think he's
Why-
talking
You give your brother the talk.
Yeah.
You show him the move.
Okay. We're moving on. We're moving
Why
on.
would you do that?
Keep that shit in. I don't give a damn.
But yeah, so that's the changes that happened with me and my brother, and so yeah, we'll just talk about how the relationship has changed firstly, and then we'll go into the next question afterwards. Anybody else want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
I'll go for it.
So like I'm also the older brother. My younger brother's name is Rohan. He's also like his interests are so different than mine. The only thing that we really like line up on is Warzone, and that too, I'm just like done with that game.
Where do you think you where do you think you differ with that? Like where is he like what does he like to do like that differs so much?
My brother is just a lot cooler than me, to be quite honest.
That's honestly kind of true.
Yeah,
We're only
like,
friends with you.
I mean, he's always been a cool dude, but I like
Yeah.
hobbies.
And
Like
so
just
has
throw
Gupta.
it down to hobbies, bro. Like or like
He
things
seems
that
way
he just
more
gives a shit about.
personable.
yeah, I mean, like I think like he knows what he wants to do in life, which is something I can't say. He like is very computer science oriented. Like he's had that down. Like he wants to work on computers since day one. He's really into like cars. He's into all that stuff. I'm also like into cars and computers, but I'm more like into biology. So like when it comes to like, basic
The biology of cars, yes.
yes, the biology. Of cars. But no, Rohan, like he knows so much more about like cars and computers and like hardware. He's made his own computer. He's like
Oh shit.
helped set up like 6 or 7 other people's computers as well, including like getting the parts and everything. So he's just like
A young
and then-
PC builder.
yeah, he's a big PC guy. And then on top of that, like in high school as well, I don't know how he did it during quarantine. He pulled like 2 girls and like I didn't know about it until I saw them both, and then I was just like, dude, which one are you dating? And then
Who
Wait, at
taught
the
him how
same
to do
time?
it?
Wait, do
Huh?
they know about each other?
oh no. So like he dated one and then he broke up and then he dated another the
Jesus
next one.
Christ, he moves
Alright.
fast.
So Rohan's low-key like
Dog.
He's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dog.
He's a good dog.
And then like me on the other hand,
Alex has some competition of the dog of the house.
yeah, nah, for real, dude. But yeah, so like
Doggy.
Rohan's
Damn,
very,
I really overloaded Alex's there for a minute. I was like, who the fuck are you?
what?
Just
For some
ignore
reason, I
me.
thought we were talking about Thomas. It's fine.
No, my dog. Okay, I also have a dog named Alex, so don't get confused by Alex.
Yeah, they're both dogs too.
Yeah. All right, relax. But my main point is that Rohan and I, like during quarantine, I've like learned how to. He's also like kind of arrogant here and there somewhere, like sometimes because he's in 12th grade, so he's just enjoying his life. That's what he wants to do, like enjoy. And so I've learned how to deal with that, and I realized how much of a prick I was back in 12th grade too. So it's kind of like,
Mhm.
Still a prick now, bro. It's like I don't know the fuck you're talking about, bro. It's just like-
hey man, if I'm a prick, what are you?
I'm also a massive prick. All right, I didn't say that. All right.
But so yeah, no, like over this past quarantine, past couple months, I've learned like how to deal with a whole bunch of shit, especially when it comes to like high school students. So I know like what that like life entails and how he has to like deal with that shit. So it's like it's been a interesting time.
So,
the past couple months.
Did you give your brother the talk?
No. He gave me the talk. Let's be honest. But
He pat you down.
That's like a whole ass conversation that I could fully imagine happening. Is the craziest part of that.
but yeah, no. So like over quarantine, my brother also he went to India to go to a wedding in India, and during that time I realized that like, dude, like without him, I'm just like super bored because
Oh yeah.
with him I can just go like fuck around, like I'll just go slap him in the face, and then, like, and then
This is a major pastime for you, apparently.
yeah, exactly. And then like it's just super fun, like like he's like kind of chubby, so just like a slap gives that jiggle, so it's just like it's like just cute, like he's a cute kid, so and
Yeah.
That cute kid pulls, dude. You got it. Don't let it fool you.
That's part of his charm.
That's
like,
I know.
Dude,
then again, I also found out my brother's like he can like we had like one fist fight this quarantine, like we were like I just like messed around with him too much, so
bro, he smacked you, didn't he?
dude, and
Like,
like
martial art.
when he smacked me, bro, I literally like I saw stars because he's like done taekwondo for his like, life, right? So like he knows how to fight, whereas me, I haven't done shit in my life when it comes to self-defense. So
I don't know, bro. You're like 5 feet person, another 2 feet attitude, bro. I don't know. I feel like you could just stun on somebody with that,
what?
I don't know. Just show up to the fight. Just show up to the fight and be ready to throw down, but not actually throw down. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I usually do too. So it's like, yeah. But with Rohan, it's like I can't do that. So it's just but yeah, no, that's like my 2 cents on our relationship as of today. Like it's super interesting to see how your relationships with your siblings develop as you grow older, and like looking at it retrospectively, it's been super interesting to see how he's developed as an individual as well. But yeah, that's been my experience.
Yeah. All right, for sure. Anybody else?
I can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, my relationship with Avnish means nothing, so I'm gonna go to I'm kidding, Avnish. I'm looking at him, he looks sad. Stop looking sad. But I can kind of speak like quarantine, like starting with my sister, because I feel like that's the relationship I've probably seen change the most over the quarantine.
And that's the more important relationship too, right?
No. Let's not be foolish. Is Avnish crying? Is he wiping up his tears?
Dude, he's
He's just like, oh, I'm tired of this shit, man.
Dude, I'm just fully crashing right now. It's not good.
Go grab a White Claw.
I can't drink.
Come on, join the White Claw gang. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, what I was saying is just like, it's crazy. Like, I guess quarantine was the first time I'd spent like an extended amount of time with my sister. Cause like, if you think about it, like we had freshman year of high school when I was a freshman, she was a senior, and then she went off to college. And then we overlapped for a year in college, didn't see her then really. And then, yeah, so it's like pretty much like 8 years of just like not being next to each, like not like living under the same roof to like then being under the same roof. And it's cool now, like we've talked about it before, just like now that we've had like way more shared experiences and like the age gap isn't small, but it isn't huge. So just like we feel a lot closer in age. And we were talking like even now, like before she wouldn't like, let's say if you guys were over, right? She wouldn't want to hang out with us because we're all like little kids. But like remember that one time she came to your house, Boothie, and we just all watched football. So I feel like that's something that's changed because now it just feels like we can hang out. Because I feel like there's definitely like when we were younger, there's a huge emphasis on like.
I think it's like once you get to the 20s, that everyone in their 20s, you're just in their 20s.
I think your relationships with your siblings also like become a lot deeper when you're in your 20s as well.
Definitely, yeah. And I just like
seeing them as much either, so it's like a lot harder.
I'm kind of forgetting my point. But yeah, just like during this quarantine, we just kind of messed around a lot. Like she would just come bother me and shit, and like it was honestly a silly goose time. And yeah, she's cool. And I guess like, oh yeah, my point was like before, like when we were like younger, there's definitely more of an emphasis on like age.
Yeah.
So like definitely like the older kids won't hang out with the younger kids. But now like even in like my family gatherings, now there's a little more like mingling. So like I'm homies with like all my family friends who are like 25 and 30. So it's definitely some. And then with the niche, like we're tight because we were in the trenches together. Like because me and Amnish were like always the youngest wherever we pretty much went, whether it was like my mom's side, my dad's side, like high school. Like high school didn't really matter. We're all pretty much except Gupta. Gupta is old as fuck. Like pretty much. But like it was just always nice because like whenever we had like we were just hanging out in a larger setting, we'd have each other, even if we were at home. Like, you know, we'd both play Lego Star Wars together. You know, he was Qui-Gon Jinn, I was Obi-Wan. Like,
he died.
It was definitely a lot. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. Does it have its drawbacks? Sometimes, yes, but it's definitely nice to have
a room.
Yeah, like now we have separate rooms, so it's definitely nicer. Like, there's at least some separation, but like I keep my nails long and I'm able to like pick his door. So I'll just like during fantasy, I'll just pick it and open it and burst it down. It's like, well, what do I do? Giovanni Bernard or this random ass player off the waiver wire, right?
I'll just like fully be in a meeting with somebody.
That summer, I would just make on average like 10 trips to his room just to bother him and ask questions and just like not even listen to his advice necessarily, just to vent. So it's really nice to have someone who's like. And it's also cool because like we are twins, but we also have like we're very different in a lot of ways, and we have like different interests.
Yeah.
So
Niche has a massive wagon where Niche is
like he'll tell me about his robotic shit that I like 50% understand. I'll tell him about like my advertising stuff that he probably like 50% understands. But it's just like it keeps things fresh. Like it's definitely. And then we have the shared things, like we have a lot of shared friends, you know. We'll occasionally play basketball whenever he wants to, you know, come out and play basketball.
And come out of his cave.
Yeah, like I wear his basketball shoes more than he does.
Being a grad student's not fun. Don't do it, anybody.
Yeah, shit like that. Like he's a grad student and I'm not, so he'll let me know how hard it is being a grad student all the time.
Well, I mean, he does know about that.
So. Yeah, he does. I think he's mentioned it.
Yeah, I will say that I think we've all had moments where we felt closer to one twin. Like we feel like we know more about the twins' lives than they do sometimes. And
sometimes like
very interesting dynamic.
That's so true.
Sometimes we know a little too much.
Yeah. No, I mean like for sometimes like when we message the chat, like we'll ask Ayush, can you like talk to Avnish about something?
Oh yeah.
We literally message in that same chat, be all like, yo, Avnish, what are you up to? And then we'd all say that, dude, aren't you guys in the same fucking house?
Yeah.
All the fucking time.
Wait, tell him the story about when you were getting ready to go to LA, that whole fucking debacle that spent us an hour.
So this is hilarious.
Oh my god, I'm still upset about this actually.
I mean, you should be, to be fair.
We weren't even in the same house though.
But still,
and I called him.
No, you did.
He called me after Gupta.
Hold on. I think we need to clear some stuff up here.
I'm confused. If he's not gonna pick up for you, what makes you think he's gonna pick up for me? Like,
Wait, you're
I
tripping.
picked up for
He picked up
All
my.
right,
I picked up for the both of you.
We need to hear the
Go-
story.
go-
Explain the
Story first.
context.
All right. So what happened was Ayush, right before we leave for LA, Ayush messages our group chat, which does not include Avnish, where he says, "Yo, can you pick up the stuff from my house before you leave? We're supposed to leave at 1 p.m. that day." And we get to his house at 12, like 45-ish, thinking that, oh yeah, it's just gonna take 15 minutes for them to come out and give them our stuff. Avnish doesn't know about this, so we call Avnish and say, yo, do you have Ayush's stuff ready to go? Avnish says, what stuff? And
I'm pretty sure I called him. I told him about it.
And then Shritik, he's sitting next to me because I'd only picked up Shritik at this point. And Shritik, he like calls Ayush. He's like, yo, Ayush, did you tell Avnish about the stuff? Like, do you like, and Avnish and Ayush says, oh, like, I don't know, some random like bullshit kind of answer.
Probably.
Then the funny part came where Shritik and I, we were just sitting there, and Ayush and Amish are talking to each other through two different phones. We have my phone and then Shritik's phone, and they're just talking to each other through that.
They're getting mad at each other, right?
Huh?
They're getting mad at each other.
Yeah, and they're
through
getting
phone
mad.
FaceTime.
And Shritik says, "Yo, can you guys just call?" And remember, we're supposed to leave at 12:45. Just because of this idiot, we left at 2 p.m. that day. 2 p.m. You understand? We waited an hour and 15 minutes for him to get
A spike phone.
Hey,
I don't think you waited.
That's not really
It's not really
You know what the
possible that you
worst
waited an
part
hour
was?
15 minutes.
Wait,
'cause
No,
I-
it is possible because we had to wait an hour and 15 minutes to get picked up by Gupta.
No, I understand what you're saying, but the thing is that if you had left at the if you had, I mean, maybe there was like a certain amount of time that it took you to pick the rest of these guys up, but I had an interview like maybe 20 minutes after you left the house. 20 like I had an interview at 1:30 that day. So it's not possible that like that's another reason why I was super miffed, because you were like, Avnish, hurry the fuck up. I'm like, bro, I don't know what's going on, and I've got a job interview for my dream job in 15 minutes. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
So then the funniest thing that happened after that was, the story doesn't end there. Then the next day, Avnish ended up coming to LA anyways.
Hey. That wasn't on me. That wasn't on me. That was entirely on our boy Aditya J. All right.
But I'm just stating the irony.
Communication.
Like, there's a huge there's so much irony in the story. Like,
we made a game time. Me and AJ made a game time decision to come literally at 1 a.m. that night. All right. We left at 5 a.m.
But my point is that y'all fucked us.
No,
we were stuck on the Monterey Highway.
No, Amnish. Okay, if there's anyone I wanted to fuck, it's Gupta. So I'm okay with it. The most Gupta.
No, I have a couple.
But I'm gonna preface by saying a few weeks before that, Ayush was like, "Oh, remember to send my checks with Gupta." So the only thing that I knew to get were the checks, and then I come out, and then I come outside, and you give me a call, and there's a list of 10 different things.
Bro, it was like
there's like three or four different things.
10 things.
Like,
get the hell out of here. And one of those things was in the garage.
Yeah, but everything.
Anyway, so the whole
in a weird place.
is that Ayush
I
and
needed
Avnish,
more
as
time.
they are brothers, and they might have that twin. Oh yeah, we're twins and everything. They definitely don't have that fucking connection.
You don't have the telepathy.
No, they
Yeah,
don't.
they don't have that
Yeah, I don't know
telepathy.
what the shit you guys. That's not a thing, guys. All right.
That is the thing.
Oh, it is the
You
thing.
wouldn't know it's a thing.
Yeah.
No, that's because you guys watch Zach and Cody and you guys think, oh, this shit must exist.
No, I
Hey,
have
that is
with my
100% facts.
sister. I have it. I'm not a twin. I have it though.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys like good friends with any other sets of twins, by the way? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I actually have
Yeah.
like a good friend, like from UC San Diego. They've been like my friends since kindergarten, and they have that telepathy. They literally know what each other.
Bro, if you just want to call us shitty twins, just say it. Like, just say
I
it.
don't know. I feel like this is like a good sign that
Okay,
me and
okay.
Ayush need to
Dude,
go
y'all
to a
are such
couple
shitty
therapists.
twins. You don't even look like siblings.
Damn.
Okay,
I'll
I'm
tweet
going
to
to
that.
intervene here and let Thomas or Srinath go and tell their stories about how their relationship with their siblings have changed either during quarantine or the past couple years.
Yeah, I can go next. I was gonna mention something you said about how, because my older siblings, and Alex is the same age as Ayesha and Avnisha's, like 3 years older. They're all in the same graduating class. Very weird. But so because of like how the timeline worked out, it was basically like 8 years without living with them, like for a long period of time, which is kind of insane. So like, yeah, so like I think it was freshman year was when after freshman year my brother left the house to go to Riverside and basically only came like for summers and then breaks. So it was very much like after that, like before that we were close because we were like, for example, on my dad's side, the youngest siblings by like ages or like years. Because at that point, even then, everyone was like married and had kids, and we were just like in high school to still play video games. And on my mom's side, all the other cousins were like babies. So we'd always just hang out, and we still do that at like family events because we're still like close enough to each other's ages that we're the only people that we can actually like hang out with. But especially like in those 7 or 8 years and up to now, really, it's been we haven't lived with each other for long periods of time, so it's more like we're just vacationing with each other, even with my parents too, rather than like actually spending time with each other. Which we, even on vacations, we go off and do our own thing because our parents are like don't like doing things even on vacation. But yeah, it's a very different relationship. Like even now, even though we are in our 20s, we're like different stages in our 20s still. Like my brother like lives with his long-term girlfriend. They better get fucking married soon, I swear to God. But yeah, so like every
25,
time
26, bro, relax.
Hey, they've been living together for like a year.
I want to go to a wedding,
Here?
so please.
I want to go
help us
to
get-
yeah. See, I want to go to a wedding, and this is the wedding I'd go to. Hopefully not in India.
This
Goddamn.
is the wedding.
This is the wedding I'd go to.
Yeah,
What
but
is your
none of you
criteria?
fuckers are getting married.
What is your criteria? It's like, oh, I'd consider going to my older brother's wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, like
We'll
this
see
is
what
the
works.
wedding I would go to next. Like this is the only in the foreseeable.
Would
future
go
my
to?
wedding.
You are going. There's
I am
no
going. That's what I
debate.
mean. Yeah.
So what
'Cause
you're
I
telling
just
me is
wanna
if like
go.
you fucks up and accidentally does some stupid shit and has
Yeah.
to get married, then you wouldn't go
Has
to
to
it?
get married.
Doesn't want to. He just has to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like every time, because she also comes to like all our family events now, which is they're cute as fuck, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But she also convinced my brother to get a ponytail, which looks
Oh my
like,
god.
when I saw him last, he looked straight up looked like
Oh, Amarnath,
Avatar?
please no. Amarnath,
Wait, who
no.
did it
low
look
key
like
looked
from
good
That
on him.
sounds that sounds disgusting. Srinath, I need you to text me a picture of this. I need to know. I need to
think
know
I have it.
now.
Wait, Srinath, what character did he look like?
Sokka,
Oh,
Like-
Oh,
like super short, like just shaved on the sides and like
yeah,
long ponytail.
I
It
can't
looked
even
pretty good on
imagine
him,
that.
not gonna lie. I was considering it, but then he got it cut after that too.
Damn it.
'Cause my mom hated it.
Yeah, I'm sure she did.
sounds about right.
Yeah, but it's definitely a very different relationships now that especially they're both in our 20s. Now it's like before, like when we were kids, it would just be us two hanging out, but now we can like kind of hang out with our parents as well, talking about like adult shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Hmm.
don't. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like especially in quarantine, like I didn't live with my family during quarantine
Oh,
except
yeah.
for like 2 weeks, so like it was
Yeah.
pretty much the same, carrying on the same thing.
I feel that though, like how I'm able to like talk with my siblings, but also like with my like Avnish and my sister, but also with my parents too.
Yeah.
Like I can curse with my parents now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It feels
Like I
wrong.
can say
still.
like okay, I can say crap, hell, and damn. But like everything
That counts as cursing. I just go
everything
straight up
beyond that is a little too extreme, but it's just like like before, like if I told my sister to shut up, I'd get in trouble. Like
Yeah.
it's over. But now I'm like, I can tell her to fuck off and it'll be okay.
Wait, in front of your parents or?
Okay, like maybe in front of my dad.
Wait, literally, no, you can't. That's not true at all. Our
Mhm.
sister,
I'm
hates-
mom.
our
I'm-
sister
See, they don't live
despises
in
the
the
idea of
same house.
anybody using swear words at her.
That's
No, but like you not like fuck off in like a serious way, like angry, but like if we're
Yeah.
if we're just like you know just having a silly goose time, like
Wait,
I think that.
uh,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just had a question. Do you guys in case you're younger siblings or if you guys have older siblings, do you guys like say like Didi, Bhaiya, or
Yeah.
does your older sibling call you that, or does call you by your name?
I call my sister Didi or Mima.
Okay.
I call her, I call her Didi because she's like my only, like it's just like that's just how I grew up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I even call like my older cousins Didi. You know what I mean? That's one of the few traditions that's actually stuck around.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's actually hell. My brother just calls me fucker, dude.
He just walks in the room. He's like, "What's up, fucker?"
Yeah, but it's like equally reciprocated. So like that's my nickname for him too. So.
What about you, Nathan Thomas?
Yeah, I call my sister Chechi, which is older sister in Malayalam. And like
Okay.
when I was a little kid, there was like a guy in my class who was making fun of me because he heard me say it, and he said like Chi Chi. It sounds like Chi Chi, and he was like making fun of me. And for some reason, I saw red that day, and I like, pushed him off the slide.
You saw red and you pushed him off the slide.
Like he
so
like,
wait, listeners, for context, Chi Chi in Hindi
trash.
means dirty.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't a brown kid. It was a white kid. I was in San Jose.
That's so much worse.
And
how high was
like,
the slide?
Huh? Whoa. When you're in second grade, it felt like Mount Everest. I don't know. I thought he.
Oh, yeah. Was it like rubber or a tan bar?
No, I didn't push him onto the slide. Like
no, you pushed him off the side. I understand. So did he land on a tan bar? Good. That hurts the most.
Jesus Christ.
I'm upset that I haven't pushed
What the
Thomas
fuck,
to
man?
red yet. I need to step up my game.
That's what
being
you
on
do.
Thomas's, I'm not gonna lie, being on Thomas's bad side is no fun in the slightest. All right.
There are very few people, but if you do it,
he'll push you off a slide. He doesn't.
No, it's god awful. Hey, I've been on Thomas's bad side. All right, it's not fun.
When?
We don't need to bring
Vegas.
up. Actually, I don't know. We were all thinking.
Oh.
Anyways,
The most fun trip we've all taken together, right?
Yeah, I'll always treasure that time.
Thomas, I think you're gonna go ahead next with your how your relationship has changed with either your younger or your older sister.
Yeah, so like Priti mentioned, I am a middle child, but it has like an asterisk because I have an 11-and-a-half-year difference between me and my younger sister. So for most of my childhood, I grew up as the baby of the family. And so when it comes to how my relationship changed with my older sister, it's very much like when I was a kid, I like depended on her. Like she was more like my mom figure because she was very mature for her age and I was an immature little shit. So it very much was like she took care of me. All of my opinions come from her. Like all the things I liked was like, it was like I was fully dependent on her. And so like now she's like married and on the East Coast. So that relationship has completely like changed from when I was a kid, not necessarily in quarantine, but that fact that she's like somewhere else now. She's like not home. Because even for school, like even for college, she was going somewhere where she was home on the weekends all the time. So that gap never happened until I went to school. And then when I went to college, it never felt like I was away because you're doing shit in school. Like,
Yeah.
like I never felt like away or busy because like so much time just got filled really easily. Whereas for my little sister, our relationship has definitely changed in the sense that when she was born, I didn't know how to deal with it. Like I didn't know how to see her as a person. It was very much like I want her to like me very much, but not how you connect with a person. It was almost like I just want her to like me. Damn it, I'm
Remind me the age gap between you and Sophie.
11-and-a-half.
Okay.
Oh my
So like
It's fucking wild.
Yeah, it's a big jump. And like I remember when she was a little kid, like I was so upset that she didn't like me. Like I remember that being like a thing, like because I was like I was always like center of the universe, right? I wanted everything to be about me, and I was the baby of the family, and suddenly there was this new thing, little shit, and everybody was paying attention to her. But now it's very much like we're friends now, which we weren't before. Like before it was like my little sister, I will take care of you, and now it's like we're friends. But it's a very very weird way where I tutor one sister with elementary school math, and then the other sister is like on the East Coast and married. So it's a huge spectrum of experiences.
Oh yeah.
Well,
If your sister ever steps to you, dude, you could just pull out the "you're an accident." You know.
Oh my god.
Dude,
I mean, mathematically, guys,
Just
look
whip
at
it
the
out.
standard.
no,
Okay,
come
to
on,
be fair,
man.
mathematically, one
Look
of
at the
you two
standard
are actually-
deviation. Look at the variance.
Maybe just
Okay,
uncle and
it's a-
auntie, just for like, I think we need a third. I don't know. Why you gotta be like this? Why you gotta fuck with that
You need
kid?
a third?
I mean,
What are you saying, man? Alex
I
wasn't
mean-
enough.
Wait.
Yeah.
You're the last person talking, dude. Your parents did not expect to have twins.
that is true. They
Yeah,
do not
exactly.
plan for both.
My parents panicked with a capital P.
Yeah,
It was it's a BOGO. It is.
So, like, Avnish was definitely the accidental child because he's the youngest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's
so-
really that
Feel
must
like-
be really scary because my parents were like relatively broke and they were like, oh, I guess we're having twins, Like, that's actually pretty scary.
Yeah. Wait, Alex, do you feel closer to your brother-in-law now too, or is it like still kind of?
Well, it
hard-
was weird that like they, because of the quarantine and everything, they like moved pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I do see him more as my brother-in-law than my sister's husband, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't get that.
Like
Is it like more brotherly? you mean?
yeah, like we were able to build our own relationship. And so like I see him as like a brother-in-law figure.
Yeah.
But like I didn't get to build that connection with him as my sister's husband. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's super
mean,
interesting, actually. And
Would
like,
that be better or worse?
I think that's better.
Since more of my like priorities lie around my sister, it's like I want to see how she is around him, and I don't get that aspect. I get to like talk to him and like connect with him.
Got you. Yeah. Amnish, sorry, I realized I skipped you. If you want to talk about your experiences of being kind of say something that you didn't say about your experience, I guess.
No, yeah.
covered all the
I'll
bases.
be in the accident.
I mean, with my sister, we weren't friends until maybe I turned 19 because I was just constantly like a malicious little shit about everything that it was possible. No, it's just the truth. It's just like I wanted her to like me so much. At a certain point, I was just trying to get her attention by doing anything. Like that was like I just used to do just the most fucking awful things. I don't even remember what I used to do, honestly. I just know I used to just do terrible things. Okay.
You remember?
With Ayush, it was kind of the same too. I think I was just like trying to grab Ayush's attention all the time. There was also a whole other issue of like,
What are you talking
Yeah,
about, dog? I'm the one who picks your door, man. And you don't.
no. Like when we were kids, like it was like I was trying to get this guy's attention and like be cool around him and stuff like that. Because I was just a
Be
socially
cool?
insecure motherfucker. And then I used to just like do things like just beat you up. I'd be like, oh, that's cool.
That's yeah, because
I'd be like, no, like
it doesn't
puny,
make any sense.
puny brain me, coming into the. I feel like sometime when we were kids, it became socially acceptable to like not all of a sudden be a masculine personality. Do you know what I mean? We talked about this. We covered this in a previous podcast. I know we did at some point.
The world between your legs.
Yeah, maybe it was that one for listeners if you know which one we're talking about. I think it was like the Han Solo one. Which superhero do you recognize with most? Yeah, I think. Well,
Go ahead.
I don't like what. Okay, when we were 18, I think something that was really cool is like me and Ayush just like had enough time apart that we just became fully separate people. And that was like good for us, Even though I like definitely don't get to see Ayush as much as I would want to, or interact with him as much as I would want to, or really tell him about my day as much as I want to. I don't know. It's just like really cool that Ayush is like his own fucking person, just like doing all these things that like I could have never really dreamed of. And
Guys,
like,
I'm gonna cry.
Anish thought I was gonna be a failure.
I did. I know I did.
That's how he's just like, yeah, dude, this guy was in the trend. He was down bad. Now he's his own man, and I'm so proud of him.
No, not at all. It's not like that. It's just like, dude, I don't know, something that's really cool. Like at least in this very short time that we've been adults, is like you just like found something that you just give a full fuck about, and you're just really passionate about it. Follow Ayush and Ryan at Ayush and Ryan FC on Twitter. This
FC
man's
Ayush
does soccer analytics. Sorry, FC Ayush and Ryan. Sorry, my bad. You should plug yourself right now. Go really quickly.
You haven't liked my latest post, dog. What's up with that?
I haven't checked Twitter in like 4 days. Come on, give me
I'm
a
just fucking with
plug
you.
yourself. What are you doing?
Oh, I mean, if you care. Yeah, sure.
What? No, say your fucking Twitter handle, you
This is the
dipshit.
guy in marketing.
Everyone
This
is
our marketing
uncomfortable
guy.
right now. You should go ahead and do the plug.
So no, I don't feel comfortable plugging myself without running it by Pruthi first.
I'm giving you the go ahead. Just go.
Oh yeah, guys. So I'm like, I do like sports analytics on the side for fun. I use my work Tableau and all their technology. And I don't think they know about it yet. Sometimes I have to close the tabs.
Dude, you're doing a terrible job of plugging yourself. I need you to
But
say your
anyways,
Twitter
if you
handle
want
and
to
what you do.
follow at FC Ayush Narayan.
My man does soccer analytics and soon to be football analytics for our fantasy football season. But most importantly, he gives a fuck about it. And I'm so happy about that. It makes me literally want to cry.
I think that might be
Thanks, man.
why sibling relationships change, because in adult life, it is so nice to have things you give fucks about. Like to give a full fuck about something. We all, each of us, the 6 people in this room, give a full fuck about at least one thing in our life. And when you grow up, like your sibling will find that thing, you will find that thing, and you get to just appreciate, like, oh yeah, they're like people, you know, and you get to like see them do their thing, and they also see you doing your thing, like Avnish and Ayush. Like Avnish is a freaking exhausted grad student right now, and Ayush
Living
is
the
living
dream.
in LA, like full time working, and
in
having
Spain,
a
the
side
silence,
passion
the
project
S is
at the same
silent.
time. Those are like cool things, and they're very different, but they still get to connect. So
So like for you, Alex, like what are like the like what would you say are like I'm kind of curious, like what would you say your older sister cares about the most? And what would you say like your younger sister? Because I'm kind of curious about like just the disparity. Because I know like one's full on married and the other's like what,
Child.
third, fourth grade?
Also, mini question: what does Sophie call you?
she calls me Cheta, which is older brother.
Okay.
What do you
Yeah.
call Sophie?
Respect.
What do I call? There's less words for like younger siblings. Like it's Indian
yeah, I don't
culture,
think-
it's all from respect, right? So like
Yeah, Indian
Yeah.
culture doesn't give titles down.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not like
losers.
No, you just for at least in Hindi you call him like just chote and then like chote.
No, I just
bhai.
call him his name.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like that's gonna be the formal title, but no one like calls like.
Wait, hold on. We
Like-
completely got off track. I didn't mean to do this.
Amnish
Thomas,
hasn't
No,
called
no,
me.
you're good. I
Amnish
don't
hasn't
even
called
know
me
the answer.
Bhaiya yet. Disrespectful little shit.
I think that's part of the reason why I'd never like I guess me and my brother don't like use like those formal sibling things, like even my cousins, because most of the cousins I actually interact with are younger than me, so I just call them by their names. And I went to India, and my mom just gives me a glare every time I do it. But now it's
Yeah.
like I've gotten to a point where I'm old enough that it's fine.
Yeah.
But I've never. It just made
It's
no
hella
sense.
funny. My brother, he always calls me by like my first name or fucker, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, this time all
even
the
with your cousins.
siblings that we had, all the older cousins that we had, they all complained to me collectively saying that, yo, he doesn't call us respectfully, he calls us by our first names. And I was like, shut the fuck
I'm
up.
sure that had
like get in line. He calls me fucking.
Yeah. I've dealt with this my whole life. What do you mean? Like,
just appreciate that he isn't calling you fucker.
Bro, just appreciate that. Bro, just appreciate that man showed up and like was willing to have a conversation with you. All right.
Exactly. That's also
Yeah.
true. Unless I've also realized that like my brother, he won't call you like by a formal Indian name unless it's like
He really
there's
respects you.
massive age disparity.
Ah.
between, like, our
Like your
cousins.
mom and dad, he won't call them like,
No,
a
he
bad
won't call
word.
them fucker.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I'm upset with Ravi, Ravi is Ravi. You know.
Gonki could handle it.
I don't know, when I'm
like,
upset with Pinky, Pinky is Pinky. All right. You know.
Nah, I can never do that to mom.
yeah, exactly. I can never do that. Like,
Yeah.
but
Dad,
my
yeah.
brother, it's like unless the age gap is like 10 plus, then he'll call because it feels weird to call them by their first name, I feel. So, and I don't know, like even when I was working, for me personally, when I was working in like a company, I had like all like white coworkers, but then my boss's boss was like a Indian dude. So sometimes it just feel weird to call them by like Vishal, you know, like
Oh, that is weird.
Like,
That is
like uncle
super.
or
That
something.
is super weird. I agree.
like in
So-
any other context, it'd be like Vishal uncle, like what's up, dude?
Yeah.
This you're literally all like, yo, Vishal, can you write me a letter of rec, dude? Like that's
Yeah, so that's kind of funny because I was reading this like story where it was like this guy's workplace experience and his boss, he complained because his boss kept calling him beta. And then at the end of it, it was like, oh yeah, so my boss is Indian and beta means son. And he was just like, the whole time he was just offended. It was
He's
like,
like,
wow,
remember your place, bullshit.
what a hostile work environment, but it was just a term of endearment.
He was like endearing, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, no, okay. Like just last story off like a tangent. I had one of my friends, he works in Cisco, right? And he just started there. And his boss literally said, "Oh, tell your dad I said hi." And it's just like, bro, this is so weird. Like when you start going out into the real world, like especially in computer science, where half our parents work, you end up meeting like their friends and stuff. So it's just super weird. But
that's why I decided to go into robotics.
Like LinkedIn
never
too.
Interact.
Like when you get like messages or like people post on your wall and they're like your family friends. Like it's so hard not to put in the uncle.
Yeah.
Like the kudos to you comes from Sridhar uncle. I can't go. Thank you, Sridhar uncle.
Yeah, I can't be like, thanks, Mr. Narayan. Thanks, Mr. Chan.
Guys, honestly,
thanks, Robbie.
To
Good
date,
working with you.
Whenever I meet somebody who I know personally and I have to add uncle and auntie, in an office setting, I just never use their name. I always just look at them and I say, I just get around saying their name for as long as possible.
that's
you're just staring at everyone like.
But yeah, wait, Thomas, back to the question I asked you, like what is that like? Just what is that kind of difference? And would you say it's more refreshing just to like have a younger sibling, like a really young sibling and an older sibling? Because I know, like at least with me, like it feels a little overwhelming that me, Amnish, and me are all like in a similar stage of life, and we're all getting older, but you still kind of have that one source of like youthfulness in your family. I was just kind of curious.
It's so for my little sister. So like when you ask me like what does my older sister like give a whole flying fuck about, it's hard to answer that because it's very similar to the things that I'm going through right now, right? Because those experiences are very similar. Like we're both working full time. Like you have to like constantly think, do I want to take further education? Like those are like the adult things, right? So to have a disparity with my little sister, it's like what does she care about the most? It's like writing her stories, but also like having that refreshing aspect. It's when you have a younger sibling, there's that period where they're just getting pushed into things by people. Like your parents are like, you should do this. This will be good for you. You're like not colleagues. You're like circles. Just keep throwing things at you. And so it's really, really, really cool to see her start to like find her own things. Like so during quarantine, she's written 3 different stories, and this is like 100 to 250 page Google Doc.
Whoa.
Books. And like
that's like 50 Pruthis books.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like,
sorry. Sophie wrote 200-page long stories.
Yeah, and like they're legit. And I like that's the thing. Like when I was a kid, there came a point where the interest I was in stopped being dependent on what everybody around me was telling me what to do. Nobody told her to go into story writing. Like that wasn't something we gave her. She found that on her own. So it's really refreshing to see her navigate those things. And I think it keeps it light. Like I think something's ringing in my house. Sorry. But I think that like sometimes when we're old, we get a little like we forget what the first time feels like. Like when we like because it seems so like, well, yeah, obviously. But it's really cool to see someone else experience those things for the first time.
That is pretty cool.
Okay. So just because we're getting a little strapped on time, this last question I'm going to do is you can either choose option A or option B. Option A, the question is, for your younger siblings, how has your older sibling kind of been like a role model to you, or if any way? Or if you're an older sibling, you can talk about like how do you perceive yourself as a role model for your younger sibling, and if you like talk to your younger sibling, was that actually the case? Or B, if you just want to tell a funny, crazy sibling story, you can just do that as well. I'll give both options. I'll quickly answer option A. I always thought like I never, like I said, like I always thought the age gap in high school was like massive, and I didn't think my brother actually cared about what I did, like the clubs I was doing and all that stuff. But like in freshman year, when my brother went to mission himself, he joined like Mall United Nations, which is what I used to do in high school. He joined he started taking like Spanish classes and started asking started prepping using material that I used to do. I found out they actually kind of looked up to me, like looked up to what I used to do. That's something I wasn't really prepared for. Like my parents used to yell at me. Like one time I came home from a party and I was clearly inebriated, and and my parents were like, "Oh, your brother's gonna look at you, and how is he gonna think?" I'm like, "Yeah, but he doesn't care about like what I'm doing. He clearly knows that you have to be a certain age." And I mean, like my brother does, and so we've had conversations about like the values that I had. Like, oh, when I go to college, I'll be mature. I'm not gonna drink until I'm X, Y, and Z age, and I'll be mature and focused on my studies. And then having talked to my brother, he kind of had those values at first, but then like having talked to him, he's kind of learned from me that as long as you enjoy your life and focus, like work hard, play hard type thing. So that's something that I've learned and I've been kind of working on to be like a good role model. Yeah, he asked one thing that impressed me constantly is like, how the hell did you get into Berkeley? Because like when I told him, like people assume I was smart in high school, but like I got away with like lots of B's and like lots of like such questionable grades. And he was like,
just
how the hell did
B's?
you get? Okay, well, I mean, yeah, but like a lot of B's is bad.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Your GPA was considerably higher than the rest of ours, so shut the fuck up.
That is fucking true.
Yeah,
I
dude,
mean, I think I just need to stress the concept that if you went to Berkeley, you were in the top 10% of our graduating class.
Okay, but yeah, but like I tell like all my stats, like all the things I did in college, in high school to him. He's like, bro, with those stats, you wouldn't even get into you'd go when you get into community college with like how competitive it is now. So the things like he compares himself to me, where in terms of like that type of stuff, which I guess
it's such a bad comparison to make.
Mission
just in
culture.
general.
It's like in mission culture, like that's like a thing that like I don't know, people compare their older siblings to, which I think is kind of toxic. Like kind of try to distance. One thing that I try to do is try to convince him like to stay away from that toxic mission culture. That's one of the things that like as a quote unquote role model that I try to be is try to show him that the real world doesn't give a flying fuck about all this thing that mission makes you think is so important. But yeah, that was just kind of a story. If we have time, I have a really wild sibling story I'll tell later, but I want to make sure there's time for everyone else as well. Anyone else want to answer either the role model question or the crazy sibling story question if they don't really have that?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Yeah.
So I never really saw my brother as a role model, and that's not like saying anything bad about him. Like I definitely looked up to him for like, okay, fuck.
I'm kidding.
But like what I really appreciated, like he really like played the part as an older sibling. It's just like advocating for me, especially my parents. Like he was, as part of being like the older child, the older son, he was like the guinea pig kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like people like
I can relate.
Yeah, exactly. Like for like parents moving to America for the like Indian parents moving to America for the first time, figuring out what to do with like what the fuck they do with the kid. He was kind of like the guinea pig kid, and so like they should figure out the shit for him, and it was a lot easier for me, which I really appreciate. But also like as we both got older, he would like advocate for me like in things I want to do that my parents weren't necessarily like agreed with, but he would like be on my side, just like fight for me to be like more independent, which my parents slowly like started to like feel like that's the best decision. So that I really appreciate, because it's like stuff he went through and realized like my parents' views of what they thought like high school and college wasn't actually what my brother experienced. So like they can carry that experiences on to me, so they don't like necessarily raise me the same way, but in like a better way.
Bro,
shout out to older siblings for being guinea pigs.
Advocating for you, dude. I think your brother did the best job, bro. I remember in like freshman year, like I was just messing around with you one time, and like I stole your water bottle or some shit, and then like he called me and he's like, "Yo, like."
I fucking remember that.
I like freaked out. I was just like, bro.
That was him joking around, but yeah.
No, he was like obviously joking around, but I don't actually know. Was he joking around or whatever?
He was joking around.
But like,
just in general, I really appreciate like the fact that like he wanted me to like not experience the same things he did in like shitty ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're lucky. I'm sorry, continue.
I just wanted to really echo that. I was actually a point I was meaning to add, but I forgot to. But yeah, as an older sibling, I kind of feel like not like the third parent, but kind of like when I was growing up, it's kind of like your parents like have a certain viewpoint and you kind of have like a differing point, and like no one's in the middle to kind of meet like a compromise. And I'm trying to definitely be like that third, like that middle person, that third voice. That when my parents and my younger sibling disagree, I'm like, hey, this is what I did. I think there's a compromise. Like you're neither one of you is wrong, or both of you are wrong, but this is a common ground that we can reach. I definitely try to help my brother by advocating for him or explaining to my parents why he's thinking the way he is. And I definitely think that that's really important. Sorry, go ahead, Aish.
Oh yeah, I was saying you're lucky because I know, like, I feel like there are definitely those older siblings who are also like protective of their younger siblings. You know, like I'd say like Shivam is definitely an example. Like if I bully Shivam a little, or like if someone said anything to Shivam, like Millie is definitely the type who like stand up for
the
it.
first person to just fuck somebody up.
Like, and she'd be, and like sometimes she'd be dead ass. She'd be just like, "Hey, don't say that about my brother," right?
Yeah.
Well, like if you guys said something to me, and if I went to my sister, and I was like, "Hey, Gupta was making fun of me," she'd be like, "Good, shit," and she would join in. And honestly, I like, as tough that was, it's honestly a little bit character. There's some character building over there.
Yeah.
But
you learn how to take
I'm glad you had that, Trina.
You learn how to take a joke a lot better when it's coming from your siblings. Than it's
I feel like I don't get offended as easily.
Yeah.
Which is a good and bad thing, but we'll see.
Alex, Gupta, Ayush, Nish, anyone else want to go ahead?
I feel like I don't have too many crazy stories about my siblings because I'm kind of the black sheep of the family. So like
people have crazy stories about you.
Yeah, like my sisters would have the crazy sibling stories about me.
You don't answer the role model question, then that's why I can pitch it as
A or B. And for the role model thing, like similar, exactly. I think carbon copy what Srinath said for my older sister. Like I didn't see her as a role model per se, even though the whole like copying everything she did. But it's more that like she always had my side, like no matter what. And then for my younger sister, I don't like to think of myself as a role model because like my head doesn't need to be any bigger. But I think that because that age gap is there, like if I have that age gap, like think about like my parents' age gap between them and like her as a person. So like her childhood is very different than my childhood because there's just aspects that come with having like young parents versus like where my parents are right now.
Also,
so I think there are some things there that I like try and be for her. Yeah, I think that she surprises me more than I'm there for her. Like I remember a specific moment where for her birthday, she wanted nail polish, and I was like, I have no idea what the hell that is. Let's go together. And so like we went together, and she like picked out this blue nail polish, and I was like, let's do it, let's go. And I like bought it for her, and we went to like the Target front counter, and there was gum there, and she asked for gum, and I was like, hell yeah, you can have some gum. And okay, I'm telling you a story wrong. Sorry, I'm also low on sleep. She was buying this nail polish with her own money, and she didn't have the money for the gum. And I was like, bro, I got you for gum. It's okay. And so I bought her the gum. She bought the nail polish, and we went home. And then like I took a shower, and I came out of the shower, and she had put an envelope on my desk. And this is like when she's 9, and she put an envelope on my desk with $2 in it, and it said like, thanks for the gum. And I was like, what the like who the hell do you think you are throwing
hey, she's smart. She doesn't want to be in debt.
Yeah, and then I took those $2 to Vegas, and I made it work.
Blew on strippers and cocaine.
I bought my brother a PS5, and he's still shit at Warzone.
Hey!
Stop using the damn Krig, man. It has 30 bullets, man. I put that 60 mag on for you, you'll be just fine.
I put the 60 mag on there.
Jeez. No, I put the 60 mag on it.
Sorry, you leveled it up in that 1 month where I didn't play, but I'm back now.
But yeah.
That's dope. Thanks, Thomas.
I don't know. Can I say a funny story?
Yeah.
So for my brother, like I don't think that like we've they were like 5.5 years apart, but still, like, I'd say that the role model thing never fit for me. At least I was like, I don't know. It's just like it's weird to think of yourself as a role model.
Yeah.
I like definitely don't think of myself as that. But when it came to Rohan, he's always been like a lot more emotionally like stronger, I'd say. So this past like week my parents were returning back from India, and my mom and him were by themselves and my dad already left. They got on two different flights, and there was like a huge delay for the flight, and my brother was just sitting there, and some like woman, some Indian woman, like she came up to him and she like cut in line, and then my mom like got mad. She was all like, "Yo, we've been waiting here. Like, you gotta go to the back." And that lady called my mom a moron out of like everything, like just
Whoa.
randomly. And bro, my brother went off on her ass, dude.
Let's
Like,
go.
was
Let's
like-
go.
he was like, he looked at her in the eyes, and and this is what my mom was saying. He's like, he looked at her in the eyes, and he asked her, he's like, "What did you just say to my mom?" And
Damn.
she like she was like, she was unresponsive, and my brother's like, "Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, fuck off and go to the back of the line. Like, nobody
What?
fuck about you." Like, he like went off on her, dude. And this is like an
Jeez.
Indian auntie, dude. And I was just like, damn, dude, my brother got like, he's like always. So I think that like in a way, Rohan also has like certain qualities which I would like to like take on by myself, especially when it comes to standing up for people. Like, he's way better at it than anyone else I've ever seen in my life. Like, he will go off on your
Dude,
behalf.
where were those balls when it comes to getting a vaccine?
What do you
Dude,
mean?
you said he's
When he
scared of
ran away from
shots.
the needle.
Oh yeah. But nah, like he's always been like, he always
Yeah,
like stands up
that's
for people.
amazing.
I guess like when it comes to the vaccine, he stood up for himself and ran out of that building.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
That was the like
All right.
yeah.
That's
I think that
awesome.
like
I
for
love that.
younger siblings too.
Yeah.
I think like with Alex's story too, like you definitely have like a lot to learn from them as well. You can't just
Yeah.
consider that, oh yeah, I'm the only one teaching them.
That's true.
Like, the younger siblings definitely teach. I feel like they teach you more about yourself and like a lot more in general. But yeah, that's
Got
my
you.
take.
Avnish, Ayush.
You can go first, Avnish.
Well, actually, I thought I was gonna punt this to you because we're super over on this podcast.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like an hour.
We got time for one more crazy story.
Yeah,
It's been like an hour
Yeah.
and 20 minutes at least.
hour and
No, we
10.
didn't start.
They're
We,
late.
14 minutes. Yeah, we have time. Don't worry.
Tell the story about your apple.
Or the jacket.
Jacket.
Oh no, we can't.
Ah,
We can't tell that story.
see
Apple,
the issue,
apple,
the
apple,
issue,
apple.
the actual, I think the issue is that a lot of crazy stories that we have about Ayush
Are
are just
absolutely
like things
disgusting.
that are just kind of raw and sensitive. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think the jacket's about Ayush.
So yeah, okay, fine. I'll so we don't go on for too long. I guess I'll try to be as brief as possible. I guess with my sister, I definitely see her as a role model. I guess especially in high school, because like in terms of like academics and like whether it's like academic performance and just like our interests were definitely more aligned. Like we both definitely did not thrive in that mission environment.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely took a toll on both of our self-esteem. But what kept me going is like seeing my sister starting to thrive in college, and I was like, okay, like once I get out of here, like I'll be just fine. I did a lot of the same things that are like I played sports. Like she played softball in high school. I played soccer with Thomas, and like I did DECA. So like a lot of the same things there.
Speaking of DECA, I have a funny.
Dude, we don't need to talk about DECA. That's for another podcast.
Dude, this is a story. Since Avnish doesn't want to say anything, I got you.
No, no,
Bottle up the
no.
bottle up the energies, bro.
No
Bottle up
tangents.
the energies.
And then with Avnish, like I definitely also looked like similar with Gupta, like I definitely look at him and I like want certain qualities that he has. Like for example, just like he's kind of like, I don't know if this is the right word, correct me, like he's kind of like a savant, like he found one thing that he really like. Is that the right word?
Nope.
Like, I
He's
guess I
like
love to explain.
gifted.
like he found one thing that he truly is passionate about, and he like, he go and balls into it, and that's kind of my inspiration of like why I've started doing soccer analytics too. Just something like, even though it's more of like a side thing because I'm working, like it's something like, okay, like let me find something I'm passionate about that like is kind of a mix of like what I studied in school and like what I'm passionate about, like, and like what I played throughout my whole childhood.
Shit,
and yeah,
bro,
like
it's
that's
gonna
something
be it's gonna be a side thing until you're taking me to Buccaneers and Man United games, bro.
We'll see. But I mean, it's just just like Avnish's ability to like dedicate himself to things, like maybe sometimes to like an unhealthy level.
Oh yeah.
He definitely sometimes can't take care of himself, but like it's something I really look up to him for.
That's another cool thing about siblings is that they come from the same household. You're like coming from like the same values, like family, whatever, but you have completely different like childhoods. You become completely different people. And like Ayush and Avnish, like fuck the twin thing, are like completely different people. And they like have like a lot to learn from each other on their own.
Oh yeah, and as far
something
as
that I think okay, before you say your funny story and we end on something hilarious, I think something that I genuinely admire about Ayush is like he's got an ability to not overthink things, but also he has an ability to not overthink things for other people in a not rude way. So like me, I'm just a blunt motherfucker, like I'm just too blunt, like, but Ayush can break it to you while he's rubbing your back and giving you mac and cheese, but also like not just like not overthink shit,
Ayush is like,
Avnish, this is not helping
not to never talk about that.
This is not helping your case at all.
No, not my case.
That's gonna be the quote for the episode.
For all our listeners, they shared
back rubs and mac and cheese.
Avnish, you moved on from biryani to mac and cheese, dude. Come on.
I just come up with the comfort food. Why are you guys gotta be such fucking assholes?
We're just playing, but thank you. Let me get into my.
It's nice to be blunt, right? So
there's so many funny stories about me that I have zero shame about. So you guys can really take your pick.
All right, let me tell my so like the funny, like my sister. This is more about my sister. I think they're both airport stories, funny enough. But like my sister was kind of a diva, like growing up. Like she was a little bit of a tryhard, like she was like always trying to be like the cool kid in school. And like literally this woman would like, we lived a 1-minute walk from school, but she would ask her like best friend to pick her up just so she could have that like, oh, we're all hanging out in the Mission parking lot experience. And I was just like, wow, you are weird. But one time it was like right after Black Friday, I think it was like Thanksgiving or winter break, she just bought this perfume, right?
Yeah.
And like she didn't know about any flying laws.
Context, two things. One, she was in the 8th grade, and two, the FAA had just put a restriction on the amount of liquids you could carry. Like this is a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
So she got this like she got this cheap ass perfume from like Victoria's Secret or like wherever you get
Bath and Body Works. Oh god.
Yeah. And she took it out as a carry-on, and she didn't get by. Like they were like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to throw this away. And she just started throwing a massive tantrum in the security area, and I'm just standing there like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like this thing was literally maybe less than $20. Like get over it. It's fine. I understand you got this at Black Friday while you were shopping without your parents for the first time.
Yeah.
But just stop. And yeah, man. I definitely I get a lot of my pettiness from her. Blame her. And then Avnish, I mean, we all know the hand rubbing story. Like, dude, I don't think that constitutes as a sibling story because I wasn't there for that.
Dude, I think you need to get creative. All right, no,
do the apple one. Do the
like
apple.
I think there has to be something that's better than the apple.
I think the funniest one is the airport one. It's also an airport one, but this is when we were little, and apparently I was like, I mean, I was too young to remember this, but the way my dad tells this story to us is like, so this is like. We're coming back from India, or like we're going somewhere, right?
We're going to India and we're in San Jose.
Yeah, and it's like very like post 9/11 vibes, like definitely like security is like at a all-time high. Like, no fucking around, just don't fuck around at an airport.
Yeah.
Nish was definitely like a very jumpy child, like I was definitely chill and sedated all the time. Like I didn't give a shit about anything. Avnish was like the guy who'd like jump out of my parents' arms and run around, right? Yeah. So this guy did that at the airport, and he ran out of these like just these random doors, right?
Doors
And
to
then
the runway.
Doors to the runway?
Doors to the runway.
Yeah, it was like definitely towards the
Wait.
outside. It was near like a terminal, right? We were at a terminal. So like this guy runs outside and the alarms just start blaring. You know, the whole airport is just blaring, you know, a squad of like SWAT type people with their like AKs or the M4s or the kilos come out and they go to my dad. They're just like, "Sir, was your son the one who pushed those doors? Because if not, we have to shut down the whole airport and ground all these flights." And then my dad is like, "Yes, it was my son." And Amnesia just in my dad's arm crying because he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're narking on me right now. You're gonna turn me in." He's just, like whining like a little bitch, and I was just like, yeah, that's probably the funniest story I've ever heard.
I've really gone into trouble in airports more than I can. I've gotten into trouble in airports at least 5 different times I can think of. Me and airports just
what
don't
do
do
you
well, man.
do?
Dude, I'll
The
just like
airport
walk off.
security?
I'll get bored. Honestly, there's 2 times where I just got bored, walked off, and somebody found me and they're like just walking around. They're like, "Is this your son? Is this your son?" You know, and then like that
And then
that's
Auntie
happened
was
twice.
like, "Is this
at
your
least.
son? Please."
But I actually had the same experience. I remember I was in Vegas when I was a kid, and
Oh
I
my
got
god.
lost, right?
This man's
And I
got lost. He thought he
was-
saw my uncle. He thought
yeah,
he
so I
my
saw a
uncle.
bald guy, which was I thought it was my uncle, and I followed him, and I like poked him, and I realized it wasn't my uncle. And in my head, I'm just like, "Oh my god, I've lost my family forever. Like I'm never gonna see my parents again." And then my mom comes out of nowhere and just be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
No, wait, you didn't fully bring out the nuance of the story. So he thought he was going after my uncle, right? But my uncle is chasing after him. So he's just like running through the slot machines on the floor of this grimy casino in Vegas. He's just crying. He's like, where is everybody? I was like, Ayush, stop.
Okay. I think we've run out of time. I think we might, based on how successful this episode is, you might do another episode just about crazy sibling stories. I think we all have definitely a lot more. I know Ayush and Nish can do a whole episode just by themselves, but I definitely think there's some other stories that we can share at a greater time. But this was a great.
We should do an episode. Sorry, but we should do an episode on like crazy friend stories.
No.
Oh, I would go on.
No.
I feel like my mom secretly listens to this podcast, and I'm just gonna come home and maybe like, "What did you do? You did this?"
Okay, we can the whole,
Honestly, the worst part of a lot of those stories is that a lot of them happened in the house. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
That's by far the worst part of that.
Amnesia, you're incriminating us, man. Just stop.
Okay,
guys, it's time for dinner and bed.
Yeah, dude. I have a good bowl of palak paneer just sitting in my fridge. Oh yeah. You know, I'm gonna microwave my paratha. I don't give a shit. I'm hungry.
Thank you to everyone who stayed on. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on Spotify, stay tuned for our episode next week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.